here's your conservative, but not bitter host, Todd Huff.
Well, that is right. You are listening to the home of conservative, not bitter talk and education, as we are planning to launch our Conservative Not Bitter University, CNBU, here in the not too distant future. If you're interested in that, by the way, you can text the word course, COURSE, to 888-111, and we'll get you some information on that as the programs become available. So, good to be here. This is, I should point out, this is the last episode of the week. I meant to mention that last hour. I did not do that. So I am going to do that at the top of this hour. So we will be taking both tomorrow and Friday off for Independence Day, the 4th of July. And we'll still be working here. A lot of exciting things. I'm really hoping to be able to share some things with you, not in the not too distant future, about this the program, what's going on. But we've got some good things going. Anyway, I want to start today. With one. There's two things that are vying for my attention right now. One is Joe Biden. Joe Biden and what he's proposing for taxes. You ready for this? I'm just going to give you, this is an article in The Hill, thehill.com. Joe Biden, now listen to this. I'll read the first two paragraphs of this. In 2016, Hillary Clinton ran for president proposing $1 trillion, with a T, trillion in tax increases. Would President Trump's blue-collar boom ever have gotten off the ground with such a back-breaking tax burden? The answer is no. Clearly no, by the way. Returning now to the article here, but now, 4 years later, former Vice President Joe Biden thinks he has a better idea. In his third run for the White House, and that's right, I think many people miss this. He ran, in 1988? 2008? Is that right? 2008? And now in 2020. But in his third run for the White House, Biden is proposing tax increases of nearly $4 trillion, with a T, $4 trillion over the next 10 years. If he wins in November and these increases were to pass, they'd be the highest in American history, which is troubling enough. But then it adds this. Indeed, world history. This is the biggest tax increase proposed by a candidate in the history of the world, folks. The history of the world. That's what Joe Biden is proposing. 4 times larger than Hillary's out-of-control tax increase proposals as well. Now, I know, we look at the budget, we look at spending, we look at what we've spent. We've spent nearly that much money on COVID and the effects that it's had on the economy, the stimulus and all, whatever you want to call these packages. And with the potential more to come, we've spent nearly that much as it stands right now. Just in the past couple of months. It's not funny. It's unbelievable. That's why I chuckle. But anyway, so Biden wants to raise that much more in taxes, which is humongous amounts of money. Now, I just mentioned we'd spent that during COVID, during the government shutdowns and all this stuff to prevent, an economic depression. Because you think, look, I'm not a proponent of the government doing these things, but I also understand that, my goodness, what would have happened here? What would have happened if nothing was done here? Because the amounts of money, people went to not working at all. Everybody effectively did, unless you were in healthcare pretty much. You weren't working. Foreclosures would have been off the charts. Unemployment would have been off the charts. Look, I don't have easy answers for this, but I will say this. I will say that we need to work to a point where this sort of stuff is not necessary, where we're not going to this as the solution, where the government creates, presses a button, and poof, out of thin air, money is created. You know, it's interesting to me and I know, many of you understand this, but people act like money is this thing that you can just, create from nothing. Money is based in reality, or at least our perceptions of reality. Money represents value that has been created for someone else. And when you stop tying money to the creation of value, when you just think that you can arbitrarily inflate, or create, I should say, create money and inflate and change the value of the dollar because suddenly you have dollars floating around out there that are not tied to any real value. They're just tied to a button being pressed by someone, or if we still print money insofar as that happens. But the printing press is fired up and people pressing buttons and poof, creating deposits out of thin air. Money represents value. So again, fundamentally, back throughout history, before money really is developed, there's a barter system, right? So you have somebody who needs, work done on his home, someone else, she's providing, a particular product or good or service, and they say, well, trade. I'll give you this. You need some of my labor for this, and I could use some of your product, and they'll trade. But what happens is you might need something from the gentleman or from the lady who, provides a certain product or what have you, and she doesn't need something from you in return. So then there's no trade because they don't have a need. But everyone has a need for something else, right? For the ability to trade in the future. And so currency is created by governments to say, okay, I'm giving you something, by giving me a product, a service, or, your labor to help fix my home or whatever it is. I don't need anything that you have to trade directly for, but I will give you this. This is something that my labor has produced. I produced value for someone else. This represents that. This is what someone gave to me. This is almost like it's just another, it's a common thing that's traded amongst people because it can be used to purchase or to trade with someone else for something else that I need when that person may not need anything that I have. And so it allows us to trade with people instead of finding two specific things, trade a cow for 4 goats or whatever it was historically. I don't know the ratio of cows to goats and so forth, but it removes the need for that. It removes the need to try to trade for something that you don't even necessarily need or want. Instead, you get money that you can then do other things with. And by the way, now that money can be used as capital to start a business. That money can be used to purchase other things that you desire to have or that you need, right? It can be used to be invested in the stock market, which allows businesses to grow and for other people to get more value, to create more wealth. It's not just meant to be spent as a consumer. There's other things that you can do to invest and save, protect your family from negative economic consequences that happen when governments oftentimes, or sometimes just the natural cycle of things, the ebbing and flowing of economies. There will be corrections from time to time, but usually most of the big problems happen when the government does stuff, when the government makes it harder to trade or harder to start a business, or businesses are afraid to grow because they're dealing with heavy-handed governments that they're afraid will, increase their liabilities and burdens, as we saw back during the Obama years with Obamacare, and just the fear people had as to, what was going to happen next. The boot was on the throat of the American people. And so anyway, that's kind of the concept. So now we have people who say, you can just create this money out of whole cloth, but you really can't. You really just can't create it out of thin air. Snap, poof, it's created because of reasons I just laid out. Money is tied to something that has value. Now that's changed, and politicians want to, influence that, and they want to, they want to impact economic situations, the value of currency. They want to kind of manipulate this for their own purposes, and I don't want to get into all that, but I simply want to say we've been spending fake money. It's stuff that hasn't even happened yet. It's value that hasn't even been created yet, because the people that are going to have to create it in some cases may not even have been born yet, because it's such a humongous number. You think that this is the biggest tax increase in history. It's $4 trillion over 10 years. What is that? $400 billion a year, which is substantial. I'm not suggesting it's not, but you compare that to what we just spent or invested, whatever you want to call this, with stimulus and getting through this without destroying our culture, society, economy through this COVID stuff, with how governors have responded and that sort of thing. Anyway, this is what Biden is proposing. $4 trillion in tax increases over 10 years, an all-time high, the biggest increase that the world has ever seen. That's on the ballot, folks. 4 times larger than what Hillary was suggesting back in 2016. 4 times. And we're told Biden's not a radical. We're told Biden is just a moderate Democrat. And maybe by today's standards, he would be. Crazy as though that may seem. What would Bernie Sanders of his numbers look like? $20 trillion over 10 years? I mean, I laugh, but it doesn't make it any less. That's not outside the realm of possibilities with the freebies that these folks want to give us, want to give someone else. They want to take from those who produce and give it to someone else because they're the arbiters of fairness in their minds. So anyway, this is what we have going on. We have this really on the ticket. This will be presented as moderate, reasonable. And we have to balance the budget, but we don't have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem. I've said this so many times until I'm blue in the face. We have a spending problem. It's not that the government isn't getting enough money. The government is spending way too much money. See, spending gets them applauded from the home, the home base, the district at home, the state at home. They can go back and say, I got you, this community, this much money for this bridge or this road or this whatever, this grant for this program, public schools, blah, 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 whatever. Which is interesting because, it's just so bizarre. There once upon a time, states were required to raise taxes and send those to the federal government to operate the federal government. Now we have the federal government directly taxing the people through income taxes, then taking that money and sending it back out to the states. You realize how inefficient that is? You realize how backwards thinking that is? At one point in time, the states funded the federal government. Now the individual citizens fund the federal government, who in turn fund, at least in part, the states. Every time that money passes through, especially a monstrosity like the federal government, there's administration fees. Who do they think's someone's getting paid there? Someone's getting paid there, probably has tremendous benefits, probably has a tremendous starting salary. In fact, I remember back several years ago when you looked at, I haven't looked at this recently, but when you compared a job in the private sector with that same job, the same title, the same general position in the public sector made significantly more. So we're paying a higher wage for the job of administering that to send it to the federal government, take basically their cut off the top, and then send it back to states, which in addition to having to get funded that way to begin with, in addition to that nonsense, there's also tied to the money certain stipulations and regulations. I know when I served on the school board, Here locally years ago, that was 20 years ago when I started it's incredible to think about, especially since I'm only 27 years old. But anyway, I look at this and I remember thinking so much of what a school does is already predetermined unless you're prepared to say we're not taking any funding from federal funding. They all have stipulations tied to the money, or even other money, state monies and so forth. And you're stuck with, unless you can find another way to create revenue, which again for a public school is not necessarily the easiest thing to come up with on the fly. But unless you're prepared to do that, a lot of your decisions are already made because it's tied to that funding, it's tied to that money. And so Biden wants more of that. He wants more money in the federal coffers, less money in the pockets of American citizens, including you, less money for businesses to invest in, grow their business, hire additional staff, give you a raise if you're an employee. And so Biden wants more of that. Biden wants more of that. More money in D.C. means more control for D.C. It means more stipulations when they give these monies back to the states, which again is such a backwards way of thinking. Yeah, I wonder how much of our economic issues would be solved if simply we did away with that. If states had to suddenly raise their own revenues and whatever they spend in taxes, instead of getting it from the mystical federal government. I just wonder if states would be down, individual states, Indiana, Iowa, Utah, California, Texas, whoever, with, saying, hey, we have to replace those revenues we were getting from the federal government. We have to have a tax increase locally of what? 20%? I have no idea what that would even be. Suddenly people would say, heck no, you're not doing that. That would fix a lot of it. But we have a spending problem. We need the adults in this country to actually get elected. And for those who live in fantasy fairy tale land, like Bernie Sanders, the socialist, and now Joe Biden here, who wants to tax the American people $4 trillion with the TV. You ever written this number? I encourage you to write this number down. What's it have? 12? Is it 12 zeros? 1,000 million billion? Yeah. So, anyway, lots of money. Or is it 9 zeros? I don't know. I got to write it down to see. It's a lot. It's a big number. That's what Biden wants to tax over 10 years. I got to take a break. Sit tight. We'll be back here in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
It's been said that we often make the mistake of hiring people based upon what they know, yet we almost always fire them because of who they are. If you've ever made this mistake when choosing a company to do work on your home, you know exactly how agonizing this can be. The company may offer quality products, have certified technicians, offer a stellar warranty, but they're late, or they hit you with hidden charges, or they're rude, or worse. Why not get the best of both worlds by choosing Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing? Economy installs high-quality trained products, and they're trained and certified to provide the absolute highest levels of expertise in central Indiana today. And they provide the kind of service you'd expect from a Christian company. In fact, they specifically seek to deliver a Romans 12, 10, and 11 kind of experience for each and every job they do. So call Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing today at 317-831-5279 or visit economyheatingandair.com. That's economyheatingandair.com.
I love my community, and I wanted to do more to make a difference with my hard-earned dollars. I wanted to make an impact and help shape our future and our county. So I gave money to the Community Foundation of Morgan County. More than just charitable giving, the money I donate is tracked and measured so every dollar is held accountable. It's a social return on your investment. Why don't you join me in donating at cfmconline.org? That's cfmconline.org. Philanthropy with measurable impact.
Ever wondered what shooting a real machine gun feels like? At Indie Trading Post, you can have an awesome and safe shooting experience in our family-friendly environment. Firing a weapon on full auto is something you will always remember. Schedule some range time today and let Indie Trading Post give you the real machine gun shooting experience. We guarantee you'll have a blast. Give us a call at 317-782-4867 or schedule your range time at fullautoindy.com.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-764-9168. 800-764-9168. 800-764-9168. That's 800-764-9168.
Indy Decorative Concrete is hiring immediately. They're looking for workers with experience finishing concrete. Pay is $25 to $30 per hour with weekly overtime. All jobs are located within the city of Indianapolis. Call 317-784-1464 or apply in person at their offices located at 8366 Brookville Road, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46239. They're open Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, visit their website, www.indydecorativeconcrete.com. www.indydecorativeconcrete.com.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
Welcome back, and hi, Echo. For those of you watching on YouTube, Echo, go lay down. There you go. Echo just wandered in behind the camera to say hello this morning. Now she's laying down by the back door here in the home studio, which is where she normally isn't even there. She's normally over there on the landing on the stairs. So she's chilling out by me this morning. So, anyway, good to be back. Welcome back. So, I want to shift gears here. I told you there were two things I wanted to talk about today. One was Biden and his tax increases, $4 trillion, and that has 12 zeros. There at the break, I said 12, and then I thought, or is it 9? But no, it's thousand, million, billion, trillion. Each of those is a set of 3 zeros. 4 times 3 sets of zeros is 12. So the number 4, comma 000, comma 000, comma 000, comma 000. That's how much Joe Biden wants to raise your taxes over the next 10 years. $4 trillion. I'm not suggesting we don't need to balance the budget, but the problem is not is revenue. The problem is expenses. The problem is spending. We have to cut something. These politicians don't want to cut anything because that'll upset constituents. That'll tell people they don't care. For the research on the shrimp on the treadmill or whatever they've come up with next. Got to fund this, that, the other. Everything conceivable. That's one of the reasons why, for example, you hear me talk before when the issues of, say, birth control come up. And it's now argued that if you don't believe the government should provide free contraceptives, you're against birth control. That's how the idea that someone should just take care of their own birth control being an option is crazy. In fact, I remember, I've shared this story before, and I do want to get to the NBA. That's what I want to talk about next. So sit tight, because if we think we've seen politics in sports before, buckle up. For those of you who are going to actually watch the NBA when it kicks off here later this month, or tips off, I should say. Kicks off would be football. But when it tips off later this month, if you think you've seen too much politics in sports, wait until this happens. I mean, there's so many things, so many stories and narratives and developments with the NBA that I'll get to after the break. But I want to finish this discussion here about taxes, about spending. We have a spending problem, and people say if you're for something, if you're for a particular issue, the only way you're really for it is if you believe that the government should federally fund it. I mean, it's absurd, but that's how people think. If this representative was for women's health, he would vote to make contraceptives free, because that's what people who care about issues do. They make another person pay for it. That's what we're told. I think I fully reject this stupid notion, but that's what we're told. And I remember, quick story about when I was back in college 20 or so years ago now. But I remember one time, and I've shared this on here before, but it stuck with me because I think, this is the problem. This was a professor. I had a professor. She's a radical feminist, but we got along. I'm conservative, not bitter. What else do you expect? But she was nuts. I mean, in my estimation, politically insane. So, but she was the professor. We were doing a mock Congress in one of our political science classes. And so we got together, right, and we divided into different, representatives, and I was assigned to be the conservative. And I forget what the issue was specifically, but I remember Professor, I won't say her name, but I remember she said, okay, Todd, you're the conservative. What's the conservative position on this? And I said, well, the conservative position on this is that the government leaves it alone and that the private, the economy, the market takes care of this. No, that's not right. Well, what do you mean it's not right? I don't think it's something that the federal government should do. Well, conservatives have to have a plan, Todd. The plan, Professor so-and-so, is that the government not do it. The plan is trusting the invisible hand. The plan is to allow the market to do what the market can do in much better ways than the federal government could possibly dream of doing. The plan is to not fall into this lie that all positive change happens from government coordination and top-down approach. I mean, the examples of where that didn't happen are all around us. I mean, Apple, Microsoft. I mean, you can make the arguments for tax, breaks and all this stuff. But I'm talking about the idea when it didn't exist and it wasn't a cash cow and people weren't trying to attract it because it was a huge employer and all this stuff. When it was people in the garage with an idea and a dream, even here locally in this state, Cook Group in Bloomington, tremendous example, tremendous story. That couldn't happen today, what Bill Cook did when he founded what would eventually become Cook Group, which involves Cook Medical, and I don't even know all the divisions and names now, but that couldn't have happened today. That can't happen today because of the regulations, stipulations, government bureaucracy, and the barriers to entry that small mom and pops entrepreneurs can't do anymore. But the number of things that we've seen start from nothing, Facebook, Twitter, I mean, the list goes on and on and on here. I know Al Gore invented the internet, so we're told. But I mean, you look at most things came from, somebody with a vision, a dream, who worked hard, who maybe caught a couple breaks, but worked their tail off, devoted in some cases their life to making their dream a reality. They believed in it so much. And so, but that's every time you take dollars out of the economy and give them to the government, you make it harder for those startups, those, one man or one woman ideas or husband-wife teams starting something from scratch, because Every time you take money out of the economy to put it back into D.C., you take away some of that capital. Every time you put money into D.C., you increase the bureaucracy, the rules, the regulations, the stipulations that they're going to enforce when they give that money back to the states, or do whatever they're going to do with it. Burn it, for all we know. So anyway, we have to address the issue of spending. We have to take away power from the federal government. We got to get it back to local states, communities, and the individual, liberty. And we've got to see those numbers shrink, not increase. I mean, where would we have been pre-COVID if we had Hillary Clinton's $1 trillion tax increases? Where would the economy have been? Think about the hit it would have taken then, because it would not have been excelling at the time of COVID. It would have been sputtering. Of course, you would say, Todd, COVID wouldn't have been presented as such a massive problem if Democrats, if Trump wasn't in office. And that's certainly would have been covered differently. It wouldn't have been daily countdowns as to how the administration was killing 120,000 Americans or whatever the media tells us today. Anyway, got to cut spending. Can't have Biden for lots of reasons. One of them is because he wants to raise your taxes $4 trillion. Okay, enough said about that. I want to shift gears. Next segment, I promise you, we'll start talking about the NBA and all of the political ramifications of what we're about to embark upon here. Buckle up, because it is, if you're going to dare to watch it, which many of you have said, I'm done with all sports, and I can't say I blame you. I may be in that boat as well, but we'll talk about that when we get back. Sit tight, be back in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter? To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
Our word can't be diluted, because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
The printing industry has changed a lot since we opened for business in 1931, but what our clients expect from us really hasn't changed. Quality print, fast turnaround, and competitive prices. We've learned a lot at Moeller Printing over 86 years and 3 generations. Why not put that experience to work for you? Call 317-353-2224 and mention discount code RADIO to receive 10% off your first order. Call Moeller Printing at 317-353-2224.
Radon is an invisible, odorless gas that kills more people than drunk driving. In fact, radon is the leading cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. Is radon threatening the health of your family? Call Radon Environmental at 317-843-0804. Radon Environmental specializes in radon testing and mitigation. The process is quick, easy, and worth it. Radon Environmental wants to make sure your family's health is not at risk. Call 317-843-0804.
When life is hard for the women you care about, there is help with issues such as widowhood, anxiety, depression, or abuse. They don't have to go through it alone. Peace Restored is there to walk with women through the journey. Peace Restored helps women through free mentoring, counseling, and education. When life is hard, Peace Restored is there to help women you care about find hope and healing. To learn more, visit peacerestored.net.
Ever ask yourself, what does my business insurance actually cover? Well, at AIA and Avon, we think you deserve to know. AIA is focused on earning your trust. We've found that when we educate our clients and truly listen to them, they allow us to work alongside them to put together the insurance plan they need. Whether your business is big or small, give AIA a call, 317-718-1747, or find out what we can do for you at AIA4lowrates.com. Advertisement sponsored by Grange Insurance.
Hey Indianapolis, by now you've probably heard about Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group. Jody and his team are experts at helping you prepare your personal or small business tax returns. You can count on Midwest Tax Group to get every deduction possible and work for your higher refund. And not just on this year's taxes, they'll check your prior returns for any tax savings you may have missed for free. Are you behind on filing your returns? They can file past due returns and help negotiate with the IRS, too. They complete most tax returns within a week and charge an affordable, flat fee, no hourly billing. And as their client, you can consult with the team at Midwest Tax Group year-round at no charge. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and Greenfield, with evening and weekend appointments available. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. That's 317-288-5260. Or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com. Midwest Tax Group can help you more than any piece of software ever could.
Are you an electrician, plumber, or handyman looking for an 8-to-5 job that pays you what you're worth? Copper Ridge Home Services wants you. Our veteran-owned family business offers holiday pay, weekends off, and on-site training for entry-level positions. Our team is growing, so if you have a can-do attitude, we want you to be part of that growth. Ready for a change? Give Copper Ridge a call at 317-839-6100. That's 317-839-6100. Copper Ridge Home Services. We value your time.
Welcome back. Okay, so told you that we would be talking about the NBA, and we're going to do that. I got a couple of stories here in the NBA, from the NBA, which I'm curious, who's even going to watch the NBA? You know, I've been a big Pacers fan. I like Victor Oladipo. I've liked Malcolm Brogdon. I like Domantas Sabonis. My 6-year-old is a huge Sabonis fan. Not entirely sure why. She's always loved Sabonis ever since, since he's been here. She used to chant Sabonis. Sabonis when we would watch the game. Sabonis. He would be on the bench. He didn't even start, remember, last season. Anyway, I don't get into the whole details of sports, but I enjoy sports. And I have to tell you, one of the reasons I enjoy sports is because it is an escape from politics. It is an escape. Look, I do this every day. You know that. You listen every day, or you should. And it is very, I love it. I do. I love talking about this. I think it's important. But I also think, you know what? We have other aspects of our lives. And we don't want to have the political narrative shoved down our throats every time we do something, just to escape for a while. Not in an unhealthy way to ignore reality, but just to get out there and, just take in a good quality basketball game or whatever, a football game, or, go hunting or walking in the woods or whatever that looks like for you. But how's that possible when I see here on FoxNews.com, NBA to paint Black Lives Matter on courts in Orlando arenas, report says. Even Nas says, oh my gosh. NBA continues stance on social justice and racial inequality. The NBA is planning, this is at FoxNews.com, to paint Black Lives Matter on all 3 basketball courts when the 2020 season resumes at Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida on July 30th, according to ESPN. In an effort to continue talking about social justice and racial inequality, the league will paint the phrase inside both sidelines. Oklahoma City Thunder point guard Chris Paul, who is also president of the National Basketball Players Association, that's the they call it the NBPA, told the Undefeated that the union was working with the league to have players wear, quote, personalized social justice, social cause, or charity messages on the backs of their jerseys. So not only are we going to see Black Lives Matter on the court, which again, Black lives do matter. We're talking specifically now about an organization that has a radical ideology, which has called for violence against police officers, which is called for in their, you can go there today and look at, they want to see the nuclear, they want the end of the nuclear family, which, what the heck? It's just insanity. And they're run by Marxists. This is insane. So we have Black Lives Matter on the court. We have jerseys now that are going to have personalized social justice, social cause, or charity messages. I'm just trying to think of some charities. You know that there's charities that they would not approve. You know that they wouldn't. This is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Predictable to a point. I'm not suggesting that we should be shocked by this, but it's still astonishing to think. It wasn't that long ago. I remember Bob Costas during an NFL Sunday night football game. Remember, this has been years ago now, several years. And he was talking about guns, his anti-gun stance, during halftime of one of the games when they passed it over to Bob Costas. And he took a lot of flack for that. Heck, now that's the expectation. Whatever the liberal cause of the moment is, you better talk about it during halftime or else. I mean, it's incredible to watch this in the blink of an eye, how quickly things can change. So there's more more NBA news that I want to get to, but I'll do that after the break. You're listening to Conservative Not Better Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back in just a minute.
Listen to Todd's show on your way to work, but want to hear more? Don't miss a beat. Visit toddhuffshow.com/listen to catch the program anytime, anywhere.
The compassion of Christ compels us to stop what we're doing and seek that person out. I think as Jesus went, in that famous song I sang as a little kid was Zacchaeus, come down. Zacchaeus was in a tree and he wanted to engage with Jesus, but he just couldn't, and Jesus stopped and he went over to him. If we are going to live a life of compassion, the compassion of Christ, are we willing to stop and seek those who need a touch of compassion today?
Seems like just yesterday that you couldn't find a quiet place to think in your home. Now all the kids have flown the nest and you find yourself wondering what to do with all of that extra space. This is Bruce of Bruce Richardson Realty. My team and I understand that life changes, and so do your home needs. So whether you're downsizing or upsizing, give us a call at 317-507-3285. Let us help you find the best fit for your residential or your commercial property needs. 317-507-3285.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the healthcare they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
We all know having health insurance doesn't always equal health care. That's why at Freedom HealthWorks, we believe the key to maintaining good health is based on a straightforward, personal relationship with your physician. With our direct doctor-patient relationship model, we remove your healthcare middleman and replace him with transparent pricing and incentive to call your doctor at the first sign of illness. So if you're ready to experience real care from a doctor that really cares about you, go to freedomhealthworks.com and learn more about the benefits of our direct primary care model. Freedom HealthWorks. Be treated better.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Hi, my name is John Swadner, Sales Director of the Todd Huff Show. As a listener of the program, you know the show is growing. 4 years ago, it began as a podcast in a closet. Today, it's a 2-hour show that airs during morning drive in Indy and in Utah, and we're just scratching the surface. Todd brought me on board to help the show and our advertisers grow. That's why I'm specifically looking for partners who are a good fit to advertise with us. Would that be you? To learn more about what advertising would look like and to determine if it's a good fit for your business, shoot me an email to john@toddhuffshow.com. And be sure to ask me about some of our special packages that will save you up to 40%. Email john@toddhuffshow.com. Shoot me an email today.
Welcome back. Okay, so other news in the NBA. And I know some of you are saying, NBA, I don't care. Look, I get that. I do. Maybe you're done with sports. I understand that. Sports was integral to my life growing up. I played football, basketball, and I ran track. That really wasn't my sport. I wrestled for a while in junior high too, but I was a football. Football wasn't my sport. I was a defensive back / quarterback. Back in high school, you played both ways back in that era. I don't know how much of that happens today, even in high school. But I was a quarterback, defensive back, and I was really a linebacker stuck in the body of a defensive back, small guy back then. And I loved it. I loved to hit. I love sports. I love the competition. I just loved it. And so obviously I was a big fan of the NFL. I was a fan of the NBA too, not as much. I was a fan of college basketball. But I was a fan of the NBA. I mean, I watched Jordan, the Pistons, Magic, Bird, those guys in the 80s and even the 90s. But, the NBA isn't what it once was. I mean, it's now run, these players are prima donnas in many instances. Some instances, I should say. I don't know, many. Some of them are just the amount of arrogance and entitlement that you see from some of these guys are just they make ungodly amounts of money. Which again, it's the free market at work. I'm just saying. Someone's going to be upset about that, and I just really don't care. But here's another story. Grizzlies, Ja Morant. This is a rookie. Phenomenal talent. In fact, I kind of thought that he should have been the number one pick. Zion Williamson and him are both dominant players. But Grizzlies, that's the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant apologizes for anti-police jersey post. Says, quote, "We need good cops to stand up." Okay, I can accept that. But let's go back to the original post here. Ja Morant, he's a guard. I think he's considered a point guard, but he's just a freakish athlete. Tremendous talent. Ja Morant apologized on Twitter for reposting an image on social media with the profanity directed at police officers on the back of his jersey, writing that it, quote, "didn't clearly and accurately convey what I wanted to share." I love these apologies, by the way. On Sunday, the Memphis Grizzlies rookie point guard reposted an image that had the F word is what it had, and the number 12 displayed on the back of his jersey. Morant's jersey number is 12, but the F word, 12, F12 is an anti-police slang term. Morant wrote, "Want dat on my jersey, FR." Is that for real? I don't know. So he sees someone, I guess, they've gone into Photoshop or whatever. They've edited the jersey, his jersey, and it says the F word, 12, which means F the police, the F word. Sorry, I get it. How many times can I say the F word? Not the F word, but the phrase, the F word in a paragraph here. But so he goes out and tweets it and says, want dat on my jersey for real. Then now he's saying it didn't clearly and accurately convey what I wanted to share. What are you talking about? And that's as clear and straightforward as it gets. There's a picture of the F word over 12, which he clearly knows means F the police. He tweets it out and he says, "I want that on my jersey for real." And now he says, I'm sorry that I sent it. It didn't clearly and accurately convey what I wanted to share. What did you want to share? Oh, what I wanted to share was, we need good cops to step up. Okay, so then why send that out? Why didn't you just say that? Why don't you say that? Good cops stand up. Nope. F12 is what I wanted to communicate, except for it's not what I wanted to communicate. This has you wondering. Chris Paul, I read last segment, said that players are going to be able to put messages on their jerseys. Is that going to be one of the messages? I wouldn't. Surely to heaven not, but there's a small part of me that says I wouldn't doubt that someone's going to propose that. Someone's going to propose that's charitable cause. That's part of the social justice movement. F12, which means F the police. Insane. Truly insane. He's sorry that that didn't clearly and accurately convey what he wanted to share. Well, then don't share it. It's not an apology. This stuff written by some PR agent or his personal agent, I don't know. Stupid stuff going on here, but I got to take a break. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Is it possible to be a fan of the show if you don't have the gear to prove it? Why not be safe and remove all doubt? Shop for official merchandise at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
The compassion of Christ compels us to stop what we're doing and seek that person out. I think as Jesus went, in that famous song I sang as a little kid was Zacchaeus, come down. Zacchaeus was in a tree and he wanted to engage with Jesus, but he just couldn't, and Jesus stopped and he went over to him. If we are going to live a life of compassion, the compassion of Christ, are we willing to stop and seek those who need a touch of compassion today?
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200 back at $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freegee, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freegee, Freije, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freegee, owner and lead auctioneer at Freegee & Freegee Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
Our partner, Global Plasma Solutions, has published ionization testing results that demonstrate a 99.4% reduction rate on a SARS-CoV-2 COVID-19 surface strain within 30 minutes. This is the first instance that an air purification company has effectively neutralized SARS-CoV-2. Commercial Service Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is installing this solution in businesses and homes in South Central Indiana. Get your free information kit at commercialservice.com/info. Commercial Service, commercial-grade service for your home.
Business leaders, are your employees satisfied with their jobs? Do they enjoy coming to work and feel valued? Workforce Chaplains can help. Locally owned, we work with organizations to provide holistic care to their employees. I'm Marcus Schrader, president of Workforce Chaplains, and we offer your team a 24/7 support system that positively affects your company's culture and productivity. With our personalized pricing and diverse support system, we handle the issues that you wish you had time for. To learn more, visit us at workforcechaplains.com.
Anxiety, depression, relationship problems, past trauma. Problems rarely get better when given time. Care to Change Counseling can help. Our professionals combined evidence-based care models with scripture to get you on the path to a productive life. We are here to help you make the changes you need for a healthier, happier you. Take that brave step today. Call Care to Change at 317-790-9396 or visit caretochange.org.
All right, folks, that is all the time that we have remaining for the week. I know it's a little bit early. We're taking off both tomorrow and Friday. We're still working, taking it off for the 4th of July holiday. But there's some things I've got to tend to as this show continues to grow. And I appreciate you being there each and every step of the way. It's a pleasure to do this each and every day. But next couple of days we'll be off. Guys, have a happy Independence Day, 4th of July, SDG. See you soon. Take care.
As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you embrace the value of hard work